Alright, Paper Cut here with another replay review. This time I have a 2v2 game. I'm watching with the perspective of Wonky Edmyoin, 31, and his partner Nito, 2914. They're both silver players, and they assessed me look at their game, see what they could be doing better. They were playing Ottoman and John Dark, but they were losing a lot, and then they switched over to English and French, and I've won their past three, so my guess is they're probably going to stick with French and English, so I'm going to watch this game. They do win this game, but even in wins, there's always a lot of things we can look at to see what they could have done better, especially if, if the goal is to keep climbing, you will face better competition, and many of the things that worked earlier will no longer work, so we want to start picking these out now. What are the things you should be doing better from the jump? So first, in team games, the biggest thing is that you guys want to pick a comp and a strategy. The strategy almost always, especially for your guys' civ, should be feudal aggression. You both have good early feudal. You both have landmarks that allow you to make units immediately and quicker. So early feudal aggression makes sense for both of you. You're on a map that I don't know that well, just because it's a team map, but it also looks like it's good for feudal because it's so small. And your comp, of course, should complement each other. And of course, your comp is super simple. You go longbows, he goes knights, bim bam boom, Bob's your uncle. And you just mass, go in and fight, and if you can't win, you go castle and work from there. Which is why I think French and English is such a popular civ pairing early on, especially if you're newer to the game. And then as you get better, you can experiment with different combinations. So let's hop in and see how they do and what they could do better. As with always, when I'm doing these replay reviews for teams, I'm going to focus on the person who reached out to me, but then kind of glance over at their partner every once in a while. The first thing I always look at is scouting and opening. So since this map is weird, there's really no, you can't really follow the normal things you'd want to do in a map like this. So I agree a lot with his current scouting pattern, which is go to the middle, scout down, come back and get your sheep, drop off, see what resources you have, and then go back to see your opponent, because you need to get back in time to drop off so your villagers don't run out of sheep, though at the same time you do have these deer right here. And in fact, if you wanted to go on the deer early, one thing you can do is have your scout push the deer in, so you don't even have to build a mill. Or you could shoot them right there with two villagers to get them down. So both of you should age up without extra resources. So boom, here's our first issue. This is an issue I see a lot at the silver and low gold level, is not macroing your villagers correctly from the jump. It's small, but it matters a lot, because especially if you want to be aggressive, which I don't know if that's going to be your strategy. This is a 24-minute game, so it feels like that's probably the way it's going to go. But if you want to be aggressive, you want to be the first one to feudal. And that means you want to make it so that your gold and your food hit at the same time for you to age up. So that's the case. When you enter the game, you should do 8 to food and then 3 to gold. And you will find that is enough to get you to feudal in a good timing. It should line up perfectly. Same thing for French. 8 to food, 3 to gold, and then you just rally to food until you age up. Sweet. So small thing is I would put your council hall a little bit farther out, mostly because you want your TC to be farm central. Especially as English, you're going to put down a lot of farms, and of course you want to put your starting farms here, but it's okay to get one here and one at the front too. Anything that your TC can cover. So you want to make sure you're leaving room for farm area. I would have put the council hall right here or right here. And see what I mean. So your ally is currently gathering wood. He has more gold. He has enough food. So it just tells me he didn't rally his villagers correctly. Okay, as you age up, I'm interested to see your guys' opening strategy. And if you continue to maintain macro and making macro being economy, are you making villagers? Are you splitting your villagers in a way that supports what you want to do? So look, that's about a villager your partner just missed. My suggestion early on, when you're not as used to chucking, one, make sure your TC is on a hotkey. You can click a lot. I put mine on the side of my mouse. So when I'm looking around, like let's say I'm on the scout. I can then flip back to my TC, quickly queue up more villagers. Early on, you should always queue up extra villagers so you don't have that happen. You can also watch the villager icon on the left. And if you see that's gone, make sure you add more villagers. Two, same suggestion as I said to your partner. He should put the old school cavalry a little bit farther out, give him some space for farms. I don't know why you're doing this tower, because if you scouted and saw the Mongol player was the nearest one to you, then I could see that, but he'd probably already tower your gold by now. So the reason I said this is a waste of wood. Early in the game, every resource is so important because there's so little of it. You don't have very many villagers, so dropping 100 wood on an outpost that you don't need is a waste. I would drop this outpost if you saw that the Mongol player had gone very early age up, or he was going like horseman, like Dark Age horseman. Then you throw up the tower, but you're going to be the aggressor, or at least you should be. I mean, you can tell because your opponent's already trying to drop the wall of all walls over here. So don't waste. Use that wood on a blacksmith. Use that wood on an archery range. You don't need an archery range because your ally should go longbows. But use that wood on something economically that is gonna, or with bonuses to your units, that would be much more helpful to you than that tower. I wouldn't be surprised if that tower is never used, unless. If you're using the tower, then you're in a bad spot. You also missed villager timing there for a second. Good opening, so you have the barracks coming down. Now, once again, like, do you need a barracks? I don't think you do. Your ally should be covering you with knights, and I would potentially drop a barracks later when you may want to get some men at arms just to cover your spearmen, but. Your allies, you guys as a team should always fight together. You should never be fighting separately. So you don't need spearmen. You just need to mass lots of longbows. That's lots of longbows, like you're Italian or something. Second, upgrading macro. So you get up, and your goal is gonna be making longbow, right? So we base our villager splits based on our goals. So you want to go longbow. What does longbow need? Wood, then food. So more wood than food. You also think about it, you want to get up farms, you want to get up a blacksmith, you want to get eco upgrades, and a lot of this requires wood. Like, you want to get wheelbarrow, that's wood and gold. So I would actually have, and look, you've aged up and you have 350 food. Can you use that food right now? No, you can't. You can mass up a whole bunch of villagers that you can't bake. But what I'm teaching you is, you should look at that and go, we need way more wood. So one, I'm going to move my villagers. But two, in the future when I age up, I should put way more villagers on wood. I suggest you have 4 villagers on food when the age up starts, and put the rest on wood. As you're aging up, rally 2 to 3 villagers to gold so you can get upgrades. And then you rally to food. And because your goal is you need to get a bunch of wood, and then start upping your food amounts. Because right now you can make 1 longbow. 1. And your French partner has the opposite issue. He doesn't need wood, he just needs food and gold, in which he's much more set up for that. He can make a knight immediately, he can make another one in a second when he gets more food, and his goal should be, he should rally to like 6 to gold, and then a bunch to food. He's good from there. Now, first of all, for him, berry should be the plague to him. If you're going to be the aggressive civ, and even if you're not necessarily the aggressive civ, you want to use what I would call your power resources when it comes to food. Food has different levels of success, so your worst gather rates are on berries. It's very slow, followed by farms. Except for you have faster farms because of your bonus. But French and most civs, berries are the slowest, followed by farms, then sheep, then deer, then boar, and then fish born out on a water map. So really, what you should do, get out 2 knights so you can go harass. And this is what I mean, right? I'm going to get to that in a second. So you can harass, then send half your food villagers over to the boar. Have 8 on the boar, and that will get you so much food. You'll be surprised how much food you have once you get on the boar. And that also means that if you diversify your food sources, you're not all of a sudden running out of food. One big issue I see a lot of early players do, they put all their villagers on deer, on sheep, and then when it runs out, they have no food, and they have to wait for them to get on the berries or something, and it slows them down, slows their tempo down. Second, going back to the feudal timing. Remember I said, like, man, getting up 30 seconds faster can be huge. If you got up to feud, if your French buddy got up to feud as fast as he could, this wall doesn't get up. Instead, this wall's going to get up. But it's that sort of margin that really, really matters. Okay, enough of me spieling. Let's get some watching in. The scout needs to be moving. So you guys have not scouted orange player at all. And you don't need to be here anymore. His scout should be on the enemy side, and your scout should be on the enemy side, so you guys know what they're doing. So one, maybe you see that the Mongol player is deciding to go really aggressive with Keshiks. Well, then French player can come over and defend with knights, and then you guys run over and attack Mongol player. Maybe you notice that Zushi Legacy is walling up. Well, then you guys get there and you stop it. Maybe you see that Zushi Legacy is going for a super fast castle, which they're able to do really well. Okay, well then you attack them. Like, your scouts need to be there so you know what they're doing. Right now you're playing completely blind, and it's not good. Your scouts need to be used. They're such a useful thing to have, and use them. Use them. You don't need 4 on gold. Unless you're going castle. You don't need 4 on gold, 5 on gold. I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to quickly see you're going to have too much gold. You're not going to spend it. I'm telling you that right now. So look, the Mongol player just aged up, and the Zushi Legacy player has not aged up yet either. You guys should be at them. Your longbows could be tearing this up right now. Easy peasy tearing this up. You're giving them space. You know why you're giving them space? Because you don't know what they're doing. If your scout was here and you saw he hasn't aged up, he has no units, you walk over here and you just start shooting at him. If your scout was here, you see he is walling up, you get a knight there and you stop it. But since you guys didn't have that information, you couldn't make the right decision. So you need to value... A lot of what I realize this comes down to is you have to learn what to value. Because early on especially, you're doing a lot of APM, and you're still struggling to balance multiple decision makings. So what do you value? Here's some things to value. You value your scouting, so you know what's going on. You can react to that. You value making villagers and making units, second. And then the last thing you value the most is checking your economy and fixing it. And take time to do that. I teach everyone the macro cycle, where it's okay to pause and go, are you making villagers? Am I making units? How are my resources looking? And take that moment to make a good decision. Because you look at this, you'd go, I have way too much food. I don't need 10 on food. I'm going to take 2 off my food and put them on wood. I don't need 7 on gold. I'm going to take 2 and put it on melt. And now you're also rallying to stone. Why? Are you in second TC? Because if you're going second TC, you should go for it. Don't soft second TC. Pull your villagers off, put them on the stone, and get that TC rolling. And now you're pulling off gold, so you realized. But still, you have way too much food. And you keep housing yourself. Don't walk your villager all the way over here to build a house. Because you're already sitting here not making villagers. Pull these villagers off stone and just make a house. But you notice old buddy here is pushing? You should be pushing too. These longbows, these 5 longbows should be over here with him, so that if Zushi makes spears, you can help him. And then you just keep rallying longbows to here to defend. But he needs some longbows to help on this little push he's doing. Once again, this scout here is doing nothing. It's 0 value. See how much food you have? So another thing I noticed how you're doing, sorry, that was like slurred speech. Another thing I noticed you guys are doing. So your buddy, he's getting his, well, at least he's built a blacksmith. You need a blacksmith. You need to immediately get steeled arrow, and you need to immediately get siege engineering, because you should be the one who builds rams. Once again, I'm kind of pushing this go feudal aggression narrative because it's your guys' best option. And so why should you be the one siege engineering? Well, what are you going to get a lot of? You're going to get a lot of wood, right? Because you're archers. What do siege engines need? Siege engines need wood. So you build a blacksmith, and you need to get steel tip and siege engineering. Your friend needs to get the blacksmith, and all he needs to get is iron under mesh, so that his knights can dive into TC, and he should not be making archery range. He should put everything into making knights. Because high level play, you notice, I've watched a few high level team games. Every civilization makes 1 unit, unless you're in like a map where you're pretty separated, and so you have like a 2v2 and a 2v2 and a 4, like, then you make different units. But you guys can work together on this. See how much food he has, but he can't get. He needs to get more on gold, so he can keep making knights. Part of it is that he got chivalry, which is expensive, but I would have rather him just drop a second stable, honestly. And now you're dropping the I'm scared wall. Why are you scared? Do you know? Because there's nothing to be scared about. Look at this. My man's... Does he have a single unit? He has no units. This man has set to 9 minutes with no units. Zugnu has 4. Sorry, Zugnu. Zushi's Legacy has 4. I say all this because you guys are playing super passively. Even if you're rushing castle, I'd be like, look how passive these guys are. And you're wasting hundreds of wood on a wall you don't even need. You're doing that because instead of finding out the information, you're guessing. You're imagining something. And at this level, we often over-imagine our opponent's power and undervalue our own power. Here comes the raid. Nice raid. In and out. Didn't take too much damage. It's great. But imagine if your 7 longbows were here. These spearmen die. And then he's just killing every villager he can find. Like, we know you guys are going to win this game. But you're going to win this game because your opponents are playing super slow. While you are letting them do that and not getting punished for it. Look how many units you have. You made units. Go use them. Go use them. Because now at this point he is getting Keshiks. He is getting Spearmen. That's only happening because you let him do that. You could have been camped out here from the start. Not allowing him to do anything. And now, so now you're bringing your scout around, but it's, you know, a little late. But why? I just want to know why you're not up here helping him. So here comes your second TC. Sure. And now you're aging up. But this is like an uh-oh age up. This is like an uh-oh age up. Good, sure, good placement. Because you didn't need to age up. You could just kept on fighting. Once again, you'll be fine because you're going to age up and you're going to get castle units. Oh, Mongol player with castle too. He shouldn't be able to do this. Like, honestly, he should not have been able to do this. Because right now you guys aren't playing the team game. He's playing, your teammates playing 1v1, you're playing 1v1. This isn't a team game. You're not using the advantages of being a team. Okay, the second you age up, you need to be getting upgrades. Key, when you're aging up... So, here's a question. If you're going to go for the King's Palace castle, why do a second TC? This feels just like a waste of stone. Now you're producing triple? I don't know if it's worth it. I would have rather been units and you just attack. So, the key, when you're aging up the castle, you need to put a bunch of units on gold as you age up so you can get upgrades. So you got your 2 upgrades, but that's all you can afford. I meant to say this earlier, eco upgrades, please. Eco upgrades are huge. First, if you could get 1 eco upgrade, it's wheelbarrow. If you can't afford anything else, get wheelbarrow. It helps all your villagers, and they can move faster, which saves lives. And when you're talking about farms, how much they have to walk, huge. Second, get your farming upgrade. And get your... You got lumber, good. But you need your other eco ones, and you're just getting your blacksmith down to get your blacksmith upgrades. And right now, like, your French ally is just winning this game because he's just winning the game. Which is weird because why isn't Orange fighting? He's like, see, they're not working as a team. If they're smart, Orange would have ran over and they would have beat this mass 2v1 and come over and beat you 2v1. So once again, you're winning because your opponent is not playing particularly smart. I don't know why he ran away. His force was way better. Oh, if he just gets more men-at-arms, I'm not going to replay review him. He's the enemy. Sorry. Okay, get the towers. Good. Don't know why you're putting the houses on the line. That's not going to block them. They can walk past those. Shout out to your French friend who's being somewhat aggressive and is killing Pink by himself. So big thing here. Why? Why? Why do you need to counterweight Trebuchet? Does he have a keep? He's Mongol. You only need a counterweight trebuchet if he has like 18 towers, all the Springald upgrades. You're playing scared. Honestly, you're playing scared. Get a Maginot. Maginot would be great here. But really what you should have dropped immediately is Monastery. And you guys need to get the relics in your castle. It's a lot of gold. But two, you know what I can tell? You're not massing enough units. So I can tell because you have so much food. You have so much food, which means you're not making units as constantly as you should. Always be making units. You should spend down to 0 unless you actually want to age up. You know you're macroing successfully if you're spending down to 0 constantly. But you also can't spend down to 0 because you want to make longbows, and you don't have enough wood, but you have a lot of food. So this tells you, oh, I need more on wood. I have too much on food. Sorry about the burp there. This ain't cutting it. So what do? You see, and when he comes push, do a little box over his units, and you realize that's Keshiks and Men-at-Arms. Those are heavy units, and my longbows ain't gonna do stuff. If you had a mass of like 50 longbows, yes, but ain't gonna do it. Your Spearman will do well against his Keshiks, but his Men-at-Arms will douse your Spearman. So what you need to do is you need to, right now, walk back to the safety of your town center area between these two town centers, or right here. Get the Springald Emplacement upgrade, and you need to immediately mass Men-at-Arms and make crossbows. Just get a lot of crossbows. If you get a lot of crossbows, you're A-okay. But you build your counters. Build your counters. You're not building your counters. You did a nice backup here. So you're lucky that the Mongol player decided to just run all his Keshiks directly into your spears. A smarter Mongol player would have ran them up and would just start harassing behind you while his Men-at-Arms tank. Once again, shout out to your French teammate. Killing it. We stand our good French teammates. But see how much his Men-at-Arms is standing here just not dying? They just walk through your units. And he should be in your villagers right now. He should be attacking your villagers right now, which now he is. But look at this. So you've done what I see a lot of people do at this level, which is you hit loss paralysis. I lost the battle. What do I do? You're making no villagers. You're making no units, but you have resources. Rally all your units away, like you did. Rally them away from the opponent and make units. Make units. One, you have villagers over here. These villagers could drop 2 barracks and a archery range, and just mass units here. Just mass units here. You need to put all these villagers though in the TC. Save these villagers. You need to play defensive. You're lucky this Mongol player's asleep at the wheel. Just eating Maginot shots. You let a lot of villagers die. You're literally feeding villagers into him right now. What are you doing? And this is, once again, so this is reaction paralysis, where you're so stressed, you're just reacting but not thinking. It is okay in these moments. You're not dying. You're not dead. Take a minute and go, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, first, safe villagers. Okay, I'm going to round my villagers to this wood up here. That's safer. I'm going to move all the villagers out over here. 2, I'm going to put my villagers back on farms. They're fine here. Or move them and take this deer. Okay, I need to start building my mass. Okay, I'm going to rally all of my production. I put all my production on the same hotkey. So I put it on 3. So I'm holding shift. Boom, boom, boom. And now I'm gonna rally them behind this TC and just make units. Sweet. Okay, and I need more wood, so I'm gonna rally to wood. Okay, I'll be good. See what I mean? It's better to take more time to make the right decision. Once again, your French friend carries. Good for him. And you live. And it's game over. Okay. So what do we take from this? So first, as I said in the middle of the video, reevaluate what is valuable to put time and thought process into. That is scouting and continuously scouting and reacting. 2 is making villagers, making units, checking your eco, and balancing the eco based on what you're trying to do. So you're trying to make longbows, you're trying to make farms, you're trying to get production up, you need lots of wood. Fix that. 3rd, make sure that you and your ally are getting up to feudal as efficiently and quickly as possible. Watch a build order if you need to. Build order guide. A lot of pros on YouTube do them. And lastly, play as a team. Like, work together, attack together, and know who to attack. For reference, I would always suggest you attack the person nearest to the English player because he is slower. His longbows are slow. Knights can move quickly. So in the future, attack the person nearest to you. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know. If you're interested in private coaching, message me on Discord. I'd be happy to coach you or anyone else watching this video. And good luck on your games.